Welcome to another episode of Scorched Scrow's Dispatch, covering an odd band of misfits wandering around the Sword Coast. I'm your humble host, Micah Silvertongue. Before we get to our reports of the recent misadventures of our odd crew, here are some headlines. Wine costs have increased in price due to a recent missed delivery by a provisions caravan. The provisioner confirms they were sent, but takes no responsibility for the delay in the delivery. Nobles and highborn of local townships are disheartened with the lack of these luxury goods, with one saying, "How am I supposed to enjoy my elk without a fine wine?" Local rustics rolled their eyes, knowing they could never afford wine, and find it frustrating that nobility are so concerned about this slight inconvenience. Perhaps eating the rich is coming soon. Theft at the Butter Skull Ranch. Big Al reports that a family heirloom of Mithril armor has gone missing after a recent orc raid. When reached for comment, Big Al said, "Surely those green-skinned bastards took it and not the odd group that came to help." When discussing the party further and the aid they rendered, he felt reassured. Least of all, that tall blue-green fella is the least suspicious of the group. He already had a nice set of armor, so surely he wouldn't want more armor. Local authorities have been slow to respond, mostly because they were eaten by a hill troll. In the troll's defense, if they just complied with his hunger, they wouldn't have to be turned into human jam. Now, on to the recent misadventures of the party that I have taken such a great interest in. Upon arriving to the logging camp, our favourite fairy of the party decided to be tactical, flying around to get a full lay of the seemingly empty logging camp. Besides a variety of ruined structures, she sees what can only be described as a shack, though surely it is considered luxury accommodations for these loggers. She also sees a mound of dirt in front of the door of the house. After our fair friend sharing this with the party, the constant mood-shifting elf decides to talk to a bird. Now, if you ask me, this was foolish because the term bird brain doesn't come from nowhere. That said, she is able to talk to a sparrow that, after making demands for food repeatedly, tells her everything is quiet and there is no bad. A truly insightful amount of information. Haha. That said, after some more stimulating, the elf decides to possess the bird. Now, as someone from the Hells, I endorse a good possession as much as the next fiend, but a bird? Oh please, what a waste. While our almond mother elf concentrates on her possession, the low-effect elf seems to let his mind wander. We are not sure where it wandered to, but the tall himbo of a genasi decides they need to put the horses up. His elf companion initially doesn't seem interested, but when our genasi asks him to tell him all about the Mithril while they put the horses away, he agrees. Oh, I guess Big Al was mistaken and the orcs are innocent. What a delicious first, but I digress. They put the horses away while the elf chatters on about their newly found armor, and the genasi just lets his talk while he untangles the leads and ties them up. Upon their return to the group, the bird has been possessed that dirty little sparrow and proceeds to flit all over camp, describing what she sees through the possessed fowl. After surveying the luxurious building, she makes this poor little bird go inside, only for it to get disoriented. After a second attempt, she kills the bird. A pity, really. For someone so empathetic, she was willing to spare the life of this small, helpless creature, though she appeared sad. Insider reports from the Hells indicate that if she was indeed so worried about harming this creature, she would not have possessed it to begin with. As our elf comes back to non-avian world, she is supposedly inconsolable. Her genasi colleagues rightly observe it was just a bird, but quickly learns that there are deeper feelings. Our group of, shall we call them, adventurers decides to go to the logging camp Ritz. When approaching the front door, the mound of the dirt is pronounced enough that they seem a bit perturbed by it. Our fairy friend being the expert tactician she reports she is, they discuss what they should do, only for our moody elf friend to misty step into the build after seeing the fractured body of the sparrow that she caused. Not long after finding her mangled birdie friend, a tremor rocks the floor and pops a glorious ankheg. Truly these beasts are something to behold, but I again digress. Our elf friend in the building takes a few swipes at our wondrous creature, only be grabbed and shaken like a rag doll while screeching for her lost elf companion. With ensuing chaos, the others begin to act. From the fairy failing to hit the creature with her lightning, but her little monstrosity causing damage. The genasi having similar luck with his initial attempt, only for a mysterious, conjured hand slapping the worm. And the killing blow struck by our aloof elf, causing the creatures to move on to its next form. When the remainder of the group enters to see this ankheg brought low, our possessing elf, I believe her name is Lyric, begs the genasi to heal the bird. He reluctantly does so, though still unimpressed with why saving a bird really matters all that much. While this touching moment occurs, the others hear a squeaking door followed by a slam. After some slight effort, they find the logging camp owner cowering in what can only be described as a broom closet. After he fails to cooperate with the most basic questions, our magical elf friend, Xanadar I believe, says he will make him invisible if he answers 3 questions. This leads to the logging camp owner confess to his cowardice, noting he watched his crew be sucked into the ground, and he has hidden since then. He also notes that they have seen more orcs and sheep like orcs. Simple minds, I guess. As Xanadar makes him invisible, the Genasi, Tujark, makes sure to share his feelings about him running off. To his credit, he wasn't wrong. He wasn't right either, but not wrong. The fairy, Miss Cilia, decides to continue to leverage her expert tactical prowess and flits around the camp on her special wings. Perhaps those wings are the envy of others in the party. Should. Be careful. Foreshadowing aside, she finds a totem mentioned in the items of that one cultist's belonging that Xanadar chose to antagonize some time ago. A true work of art. 13 stick figures tied together with hair and a mark of that dwarven deity Talos. Just like Mother used to make. Sigh. Anyway, when she returns it, Xanadar chooses to burn it. Truly a pity. It could come in handy in the future. So here they are all. Lyric hoping the bird comes back to consciousness in her pocket. Tujark generally irritated by the camp owner, and Xanadar and Cilia wanting to go find all the rest of the Ankegs. I mean, really, these beautiful creatures are just living their best life feasting on the foolish. But no, they insist they have to find the rest. It becomes fishing for Ankegs, where the fairy's craftiness comes into play over by some abandoned tents, each being lured over by either the drumming of some magic cast by Xanadar or the general tumult. Thinking of that drumming, that might be a good premise for a book about worms in a desert. A good title might be Dune. All that aside, some highlights of the fishing include Lyric again being mauled by one of the creatures, Tujark and others getting spit on. Ooh, they're nasty. And the expect flaying of the recently departed creatures by the fairy. For the first time, Tujark. What additional hijinks will the party choose in the days to come? Will the bird that Lyric killed come back to life? Will Tujark finally destroy the abomination created by Cilia? The Hells and I look on eagerly to see what happens next. Thank you, dear listener, for tuning in. A quick thank you to our sponsor, Asmodeus. Thinking about evil? Why the hell not? Asmodeus, just join the fires. Until next time, my friends, this is Micah Silvertongue signing off. If you can't be good, be bad. And if you can't be bad, just be devilishly charming. Ta-ta.